Guys, Ian Stevenson here from East Kilbride Fitness Centre. Hope everyone had a great night last night. Took in 2016 the way it should be, with plenty of food and plenty of drink, and sure there's a few hangovers this morning. So today I just want to speak to you a little bit more from the follow-up from yesterday's email, and that is about how to measure and weigh your food without having to use scales and Tupperware dishes and all that kind of crazy jazz. So the way we do things in East Kilbride Fitness Centre is we use our hands. Okay, this is our measuring tool. For females, it's one hand. For guys, we use two. Okay, so the way this all works is you have your proteins, you have your fats, and you have your carbohydrates. So, previously what people would do is they would measure out 40 grams, 50 grams, 60 grams of whatever it was they were eating. They would need to measure it on a scale and then cook it, and then they had to bear in mind if they were cooking rice or pasta that 50 grams of pasta after it's 50 grams of uncooked pasta. Is obviously 50 grams, but when you cook it, it then doubles in size, so it then becomes 100 grams, and people were forgetting this, and they're piling that sort of stuff on. So the way we do it is completely different, and like I said, is we use our hands. So the first thing we use is, the first macronutrient we'll look at is protein. Okay, so with protein, what we do is we use our palm. Okay, so the palm of your hand is the size of your protein portion. So if it's chicken, fish, steak, mince, whatever it is, you just look at your hand and you would kind of judge it and say, right, well, that's my protein size. That's on your plate. Then the next thing we look at is our carbohydrates, and the way we do this is we make a fist. Okay, so the size of your fist is the size of your rice, your potatoes, your pasta, sweet potatoes, whatever your carbohydrate portion is you use your hands. Okay, vegetables as well for that is on that one. And the last one we look at is fats, and we use the good old thumb here. So what we do is, if we turn the thumb around, is we use the size of our thumb as a portion of our fats. So if it's a handful of almonds, you would just kind of use your thumb to sort of weigh them out, or sit, put a pile of almonds on the table and then use your thumb and that sort of thing. If you're using vegetable oil, these sort of things. So it's not as strict and regimented as counting calories and weighing food and all that sort of stuff. But it's much, much better than just guesswork and saying, well, I'll try this or I'll try that, and not really knowing. And it's a base level, so it's a starting point. Okay, so you try it. If it isn't working, you can then adjust it. So, for instance, let's say if you aren't losing weight, okay, the scales aren't budging. What you maybe need to do is half the size of your carbohydrate portion to see if that helps. Okay, or if you're feeling tired and you're feeling sluggish, you've not got energy after training or before training, you might have to do 2 sizes of carbohydrates to help give you that wee bit more energy to push you through your sessions. Okay, if you're not feeling full after eating, it might be you might need to have 1.5 times your proteins portion. So it's just a base level to start off with, and then you can kind of play about with it and to see how you get on with it. But we introduced this process back in, I think it was September, and it was an absolute game changer for everyone in the gym. Because they were all frustrated, they were fed up, they were just bored of having to restrict what they're eating and counting this and counting that, and they were going out for dinner with their friends on a Friday night, and they were like, oh, I can't have this because it's, how can you ask the people that are cooking your dinner to wait for you and tell they're not going to do all that sort of stuff. So they maybe weren't going out for dinner with their friends, or they weren't doing this, or they weren't living the life they should be living, but just because they were worried about counting calories and all that sort of stuff. Whereas this way, when their dinner plate comes, they can look and they can say, right, well, there's my bit of steak, there's my bit of chips or potatoes or whatever, and then some fats in there from the steak as well. So it just gives you that little bit more freedom to dictate, and you can create your own meal plans from this just by using your hands. So you can set your plate out, by your portions, rather than having to weigh everything out. Okay, so that's just a little video that gives you a wee bit of insight as to how we start off with our nutrition coaching in here, and then from there that's when we start taking it up levels. As people start progressing, we go up and up and up and up. We can make things easier, harder. We can push people a little bit further if they really need to. So that's all for today. Thanks for being a loyal subscriber to my emails. I really appreciate everyone that takes the time out to read them. It means a lot to me. So thanks again for that, and I'm looking forward to 2016 and see where it takes us. Okay, I'll see you on the other side, guys. Cheers.